We would never have gotten to woke culture if it was not for feminism. It was feminism that was like the first, like, how do we tweak this and make this effective?
Break that apart for me. Slow it down and help me see that.
So feminism is the one that was the first time it's no longer about classes. It's about men and women. Man's the oppressor, the woman's the victim. And that then translated through feminism. You've got all these women like Angela Davis and others who then say, well, let's apply that to race. Let's apply that to sex. In terms of the gay, lesbian, that whole movement, they took on they copied that actually. So if feminism hadn't been so successful, if we hadn't adopted it so well and allowed women to be considered victims all the time, men considered to be oppressors all the time,
and
we would never
bending over themselves to apologize continually to no avail.
Yeah, what does that sound like? So anyway, I mean, that's what we've created. It's the model through which BLM and the rest have just found so much success and very little pushback.
And you talk about the brilliant strategy of certain feminists in their propaganda to go to the emotions and around the intellect. Yeah. Tell us how they did that.
So this is where Betty Friedan comes in, Betty Friedan was very much she always claimed to be just a housewife, and she wasn't really interested in women's issues until the 50s. And I happened upon this book that was written by someone that actually knew her quite well. And he saw her teaching at someplace and was like, that woman is using Saul Alinsky's tactics with her students. Like, how does she know that? And he was really like captivated by it because he said, this is a woman that became popular around the time of McCarthy. She's clearly a communist. How did she hide it and still be successful? Like, he wanted to expose it because he thought people would be more impressed with her, that she was such a successful hider of communism and escaped the net of McCarthyism. So he goes back and he actually told her he was going to write this book about her. And she said, I won't give you access to any of my private papers. If you, try to access anything without my permission, I'll sue you. That kind of was her response. And he was already in so deep that he just kept going and was so convicted that it was such an important book to write. So I found that book, and it was just amazing to see all these references to all the work that she was very much engaged in with the Communist Party, especially this group called the Congress for American Women, which was set up by Bella Dodd, actually. I don't know if you know Bella Dodd, but she was a communist that had a big conversion at the hands of Archbishop Sheen.
Yeah.
And so she's the lawyer that set up the Congress for American Women. And the language that she uses, one of the things that she says was we were trying to control the power of purchase that women had. So they were trying to rein in capitalism, rather, by telling women don't buy stuff, kind of thing. That was one of the their goals, stated goals of the Congress for American Women. So Congress for American Women ends up being disbanded because it was by the House Committee of Un-American Activities, because it was so obviously Soviet propaganda. Anyway, Friedan knows all of this, and she's a very much an adherent of Marx and Engels in particular, because she has a quote, I think it's from him, not Marx, but she has this quote about how women are not going to be free until they're doing productive work. And they had already decided that the communists in America had already decided that raising children wasn't productive. So you had to get women out of the home. But she and, Simone de Beauvoir said, well, if you give women the choice, they would never leave home. And Simone de Beauvoir's like, hold my beer, let me show you. So she's got this degree in psychology. So the whole book, The Feminine Mystique, which sold 3 million copies in the first few years.
That's amazing.
She's using
without Amazon, right?
No Amazon. Yeah, exactly. So you can tell how huge it was. But she just hits this nerve of...
First of all, Simone Beauvoir is just a beautiful name.
I know. It's amazing how beautiful the name is.
For such a demon.
Yeah.
No, that was too much. And then a feminine mystique. Like, what a lovely, it's also lovely and French sounding.
Yeah. And exciting, isn't it? Yeah. And that's the initial part, is just sort of the trappings of it. But in it, she uses both that women are victims. Like she talks about how she interviews these other women that she went to college with, and they're all very unhappy at home, which certainly understandable. I mean, these are the women that went to college and they didn't do anything to learn how to raise children. I mean, so many of us experience that now. Like, I know when I was first home with my kids, like, I don't really know how to cook and, all of that. I mean, there's a big learning curve. But she pinpoints that. I mean, these are the wealthiest women in all of human history at this stage. And she calls the home the comfortable concentration camp. That's how she wraps it up.
Bizarre.
I mean, that name. How did she get away with that? The comfortable concentration camp.
I mean, talk about overstating your case.
I mean, the
wealthiest
women.
You have a husband who loves you and provides for you, and you raise these beautiful children who look like you and are the offspring of your life. Right. That's kind of like a concentration camp.
It's just like it, in fact. Exactly. It's just more comfortable. That's what. So that appeals to that heart of a woman in the sense that, like, I'm a victim here. Like, this is bad. I've got to change this. I'm going to be like men. So that's the first thing. I
got to tell you guys about my new favorite app. It's called Ascension, and it's by Ascension Press. This is the #1 Bible study app, in my opinion. And you can go to ascensionpress.com/Fradd. Go there. And so that way they know that we sent you. It is absolutely fantastic. It has the entire Bible there, very well laid out. The whole Bible is read to you by Father Mike Schmitz, or just sections of the Bible. It has the catechism there. It's cross-referenced absolutely beautifully. It's really actually quite difficult to explain to you how good this is. Just download it and check it out for yourself. It even has over 1,600 frequently asked questions about Scripture. So if you go to Genesis 1, you might have a question about evolution. Well, there's a drop-down right there. You can read an article that'll help you understand it. I went through it with the guys at Ascension the other day, and my jaw was just, it was dropped. It was absolutely amazing. It's had tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. Again, go to ascensionpress.com/Fradd. It also has all of their amazing Bible studies. So I remember back in the day, I had a big DVD case of Jeff Caven's Bible studies. Well, it's all there on the app. So go download it right now. Please go to ascensionpress.com/Fradd.